What's up, guys? Today's video, I'm going to be talking to the beginner investors to try to give them some advice on how to get started, because I know I get a lot of messages when I post about my Robinhood portfolio and about my investing. I get a lot of questions about how to get started and how to start investing and the basics about investing. So I'm going to do a video kind of aiming towards helping the beginner investors, and hopefully this gives you somewhere to get started and some, a little bit of idea of how it's going to work. I know it can be a process getting into investing, and everybody feels like they're going in gambling their money and they have a chance of losing all the money, but it's really not like that. It's not a gamble. You're not gambling your money unless you're throwing your money on penny stocks, that you don't know nothing about. So it's not a gamble. You're not gonna lose all your money, and it's not a scam. People get afraid. They open up Robinhood and they start making their profile, and then they see it asks you for your social security. Yeah, it's gonna ask you for your social security because you are gonna have to pay taxes on whatever gains you do make. So it's not a scam, guys. I know it freaks a lot of people out when they get asked for personal information and stuff, but that's you do need to give that information. Don't freak out. Robinhood is a legit app, just like Webull, just like M1 Finance, all these other investing apps. I do want to mention, however, before we get started, if you have not made yourself a Robinhood account and you're interested in investing, click the link below. It'll start you off with one free stock. It'll help me out. It'll give me one free stock also. So click the link below, open up your profile using that link, and you'll get a little gift in there. Robinhood's giving away one free share of a company. We don't know what company, but it is a good deal to get you started. So the first advice I would give beginner investors is to get started as soon as possible. The sooner you get started, the more money you'll be able to save over the long term. And you might say, well, I don't have any money to open up an account yet. You don't need money to open up an account. You just need to open up the account, and then eventually you can go funding your account little by little. You do need a bank account to connect to your investing account, but you don't need to put money into a Robinhood account, into a Webull account. It's free to open up an account. You do not need money. It's not like a bank account where you have to make a small deposit. Of course, if you do have the money to put in, it is better to start yourself off with a little bit. I would suggest investing, if you're going to do the investing yourself on Robinhood, I would suggest a small amount of money, maybe $100, that you can play with and understand how the process of trading works. So I wouldn't suggest going 10,000 in and buying random stocks that you think are good. I would suggest starting off small with $100. Buy some cheap shares of companies you think are going to do good, like Ford, maybe Plug, MVIS. Those are some cheap ones that I do like, and I'd suggest learning how to buy, how to sell, how to use all the things that the app offers before you start going into the bigger amount of money. But like I said, starting off sooner is the best. The sooner you start, the sooner you learn, the sooner you can invest more money, and the more money you can make over the long term. So start as soon as you can. The second advice I want to give you is go for long-term growth instead of trying to get rich quick. Because like I said at the beginning, it's not gambling, but if you go in with risky stocks, if you go in trying to get rich quick, putting all your money in one company, there is a chance you lose a big part of that investment. So don't go in for short, get rich quick scams. It's a process to make money. It's not get rich quick. I'm gonna invest all my money into one company and they're gonna go up, because if they go down, you're gonna lose a big portion of that money. So I would suggest avoid the penny stocks once you start going with the bigger amount of money. Of course, penny stocks are fine when you're learning how prices go up and down, how to trade, how to buy, sell. Penny stocks are fine. But once you get to the bigger amount of money that you're investing into companies, you gotta be real picky about what stocks you put your money into. I'm not saying avoid penny stocks completely, but you gotta do your research before you do decide to invest into a penny stock. I usually stick to the bigger companies, the bigger tech stocks like Google, Apple, Amazon. I recently got into Walmart, McDonald's, all those bigger companies that I know have a history of being successful. Those are the companies I like to invest into rather than those penny stocks. However, I recently bought it actually. I read an article about Nokia. Nokia decided they're gonna put 4G on the moon with NASA. So I decided that's worth a little investment. I put $200 on it, not too much, but just to see where that goes. The third thing I would suggest is, if you don't plan on opening a Robinhood account and you do plan on opening a different kind of investing account, I highly suggest finding one with low fees. I don't think I made a video on this yet, but I have another account. It's a 403b with Equitable, which used to be previously AXA Equitable. Now it's just Equitable. But I opened it before I knew anything about fees, before I knew anything about investing. A guy came to present to our school, and he said, you know, you need to start investing, this. So I opened up an account with him because it sounded good. Little did I know, he's charging me 2.25% fees, which, if you think about it, over the long term, as much money as you want to have in there, 2.25% ends up being a lot of money over the years, especially if that's a retirement account. So 2.25% is way too high of a fee to pay. I'd suggest, if you're interested in opening up a retirement account, nothing above 1.5%. So basically what I did with that account is I recently opened up another account with Aspire, which also offers 403bs, and I'm moving it over to a 0.15% instead of the 2.25%, which is going to save me a whole lot of money in the long term, especially because now I know how investing works. And I know that those, even though it sounds like a small percentage, 2.25, that's actually a huge amount of money over the 30, 40 years that you plan on working. I would suggest start something with low fees. You know, and actually what I told my sister, and she recently opened up an account, is that I love these free robo-advisors. A robo-advisor basically invests the money for you. All you gotta do is transfer the money from your bank account into the investing account. And that robo-advisor decides which ETFs, which companies, and usually it's not big companies, it's like ETFs, mutual funds, stuff like that, bonds, very few stocks. It decides which ones it invests your money in, depending on, of course, you answer questions on your risk tolerance, on your income, on your goals, and then it decides what's the best investment for you. And those are free, no fees, and that's why I love those, because you're still investing, you're still making money, but you're not paying any of the fees. Of course, with those, you're not able to call up your financial advisor, you're not able to ask them questions or anything like that. But I think it's worth it because, let's get real, how often are you going to call your financial advisor? Honestly, I didn't hear from mine in 2 years, and I'm paying 2.25% fees. So I'd suggest going with a robo-advisor if you don't plan on opening up a Robinhood account. Because on Robinhood, you have to make the decisions. You have to move your money from here to here, from this stock to this stock. A robo-advisor will take care of all of that for you for free. So you have less control, but you have no fees. All right, that's the gist of those little apps and stuff like that. And the one my sister opened up was Charles Schwab Intelligent Portfolio, but that one does require a $5,000 minimum. However, there's many that offer no minimums required and zero fees. So there's many out there. One that I could think of is Axos Invest, which has managed portfolios for you, and that's free. There's no minimum. So that's another good robo-advisor app. The fourth piece of advice I'd give is, even though you might go with the robo-advisor initially, I still would suggest opening up the Robinhood account, click the link below, and playing with a few $100s, maybe $100, to learn how to invest yourself, because it's a skill that you maybe right now you don't have your mind open to because you think it's not important, but it's a super important skill to learn how to handle your own money. So I would suggest at least $100 into your Robinhood account. Play with that money, buy stocks, sell stocks. You might lose $2, $3, maybe you might gain $3, $2, whatever, it doesn't matter. But see how the money moves, learn how to buy, learn how to sell, learn how to read histories of companies. All this stuff is gonna open up doors for you. All right, so I would advise you learning to invest yourself on Robinhood, on Webull. I did a video comparing Webull and Robinhood, and if you're completely new to investing, I would suggest Robinhood. Click the link below. Not because I get a free stock, but because it's so simple for beginners. There's not all these complicated graphs and stuff. If you already know a little bit about investing, Webull might be for you because it does have these more complicated graphs. It has more complicated information, and as opposed to Robinhood, that's more simple. But either or, I do suggest you need to learn how to invest your own money. And tip number 5 is invest at least 10% of your income per month. So 10%, it is a big amount of money, and I understand for some beginners, You all might be young, so you don't have too much money to invest and you have bills to pay and stuff. So if it's not possible, obviously you can't do it, but put as much as you can. But if you do have a good paying job, if you do have your bills taken care of, 10% is the minimum you should be putting in. You should put in as much as possible, but 10% is around the place where you want to be. Okay. If you invest 10% consistently for years and years and years, that you're going to see that add up at the end of your career, or even at the end of a few years for buying a house, buying a car, any of those goals. If you can save 10% per month, you're gonna reach your goals. So those are some tips I would give. If you have any other questions, DM me on Facebook, DM me, leave a comment here on YouTube, on Instagram, anything. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know what other videos you want to see. Hit the like button and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, guys. See you all later.